You think that the newly announced Subnautica 2 is just a playground for the imagination of science fiction writers, a digital scapegoat for our deep-seated thalassophobia? You're dead wrong. The reveal of Subnautica 2 has sent shivers down the spines of millions. We see those bioluminescent depths, the crushing pressure, and the looming shadows of Leviathan-class organisms that can swallow a submersible whole. But what if I told you that the developers are actually being quite conservative? What if I told you that our own planet Earth once hosted a roster of deep-sea monsters that would make a Reaper Leviathan look like a common goldfish? We often look at the stars and wonder what alien horrors await us on planet 4546b. Yet we forget that we are walking on a graveyard of gods. Our oceans have spent the last 500 million years auditioning the most terrifying predators the universe has ever conceived. Today, we are going to dive past the pixels and into the cold, hard rock of the fossil record. We are going to deconstruct the real-life Leviathans that once turned our blue planet into a literal hell on water. You think that the ocean has always been a place for gentle dolphins and majestic whales? You're wrong. Let's start by going back 360 million years to the Devonian period. This was the age of fishes, but don't let the name fool you. This wasn't a world of colorful coral reefs and Nemo. This was a world of biological ironclads. This was the era of Dunkleosteus. When paleontologists first unearthed the skull of this beast in the Cleveland Shale, they didn't just find a fish, they found a nightmare made of bone. Dunkleosteus reached lengths of 10 meters and weighed over 4 tons. But it's not the size that kills you, it's the engineering. You think teeth are the ultimate weapon? Wrong. Dunkleosteus didn't even have teeth. Instead, its skull evolved into massive, razor-sharp, bony plates that acted like self-sharpening shears. Every time this monster closed its mouth, the plates rubbed against each other, keeping the edges as sharp as a guillotine. The University of Bristol ran biomechanical simulations on this creature and found something terrifying. Dunkleosteus possessed a 4-bar linkage jaw mechanism. It could snap its mouth open in 20 milliseconds, creating a massive vacuum that sucked prey into its maw before they could even register a shadow. And the bite force, over 5,000 kilograms of pressure. That is enough to snap a prehistoric shark in half like a toothpick. It was the ocean's first true Leviathan, a biological main battle tank that ruled a world of armor and blood. But as the Devonian ended and the Earth shifted, a new type of horror began to take shape. Fast forward to the late Triassic, 210 million years ago. The world was recovering from the Great Dying, and the oceans were wide open for a new dynasty. This is where Shastasaurus enters the fray. You think the blue whale is the pinnacle of ocean gigantism? You're wrong. Long before the first whale ever dipped a fin into the water, Shastasaurus sicaniensis was pushing the physical limits of what a vertebrate could be. Imagine a creature that looks like a dolphin, but is 21 meters long, the size of a Boeing 737. If you were swimming in the Triassic Tethys Ocean, you wouldn't see a predator coming. You would simply see the horizon begin to move. Shastasaurus represents a terrifying evolutionary path called suction feeding on a cosmic scale. It didn't have teeth because it didn't need them. Its throat was so massive that it could create a localized low-pressure zone, vacuuming up hundreds of kilograms of squid and fish in a single gulp. It was a leviathan of displacement. It ruled through sheer, unadulterated mass. It was a starship of the Triassic, a silent giant that moved through the abyss like a ghost ship. However, the Triassic gave way to the Jurassic and Cretaceous, and the age of reptiles reached its boiling point. If there is one creature that embodies the word Leviathan in the popular consciousness, it is Mosasaurus. You think the Mosasaurus in Jurassic World was an exaggeration? Think again. While the movie made it slightly too big, the reality was far more vicious. Evolutionarily, the mosasaur is one of the most successful hostile takeovers in history. They started as small, 1-meter land lizards, ancestors of the modern Komodo dragon, and in just 20 million years, they conquered the entire planet's oceans. By the end of the Cretaceous, Mosasaurus hoffmanii reached 17 meters in length. What made them true Leviathans wasn't just their size, but their versatility. They had a pterygoid, or double-hinged jaw. Much like a snake, this meant they could expand their throat sideways to swallow prey larger than their own head. They didn't just bite. They locked on and engulfed. They were the ultimate no-go zone of the Cretaceous. They hunted the giant shark Cretoxyrhina for fun. They were the reason why the end of the Cretaceous was the most dangerous time to be in the water in Earth's history. If you were an explorer in a Subnautica life pod, a mosasaur wouldn't just disable your vehicle. It would unhinge its jaw and turn your titanium hull into a crushed soda can. But the real clash of titans happened much later, in the Miocene epoch, about 10 million years ago. This is where the Earth decided to host a heavyweight title fight that has never been equaled. In one corner, we have the legendary Megalodon. You think the great white is the king of the sea? You're dead wrong. An average great white shark is about 5 meters long. A Megalodon reached 20 meters and weighed 70 tons. Its tooth alone is larger than a human hand. The Megalodon was a biological machine designed to eat whales. It didn't hunt small fish, it targeted 10-meter-long baleen whales. It would bite off the whale's fins first to immobilize it, then deliver a crushing blow to the chest cavity, snapping ribs and exploding organs with a bite force of 18 tons. It was an apex predator, so dominant that it dictated the evolution of every other creature in the sea for 10 million years. But Megalodon wasn't alone in the ring. You think sharks had no rivals? Wrong. Meet Leviathan melvillei, named after the biblical Leviathan and the author of Moby Dick. This was the ultimate anti-shark whale. Unlike modern sperm whales that have small teeth and hunt squid, Leviathan was a raptorial killer. It had teeth 36 centimeters long, the largest functional biting teeth of any animal in history. It was 18 meters of pure mammalian aggression. While Megalodon relied on its gills and serrated teeth, Leviathan had a massive brain and the ability to coordinate attacks. It also had a spermaceti organ in its head that it likely used as a 60-ton battering ram. Imagine these two Leviathan meeting in the middle of the Pacific. A 70-ton shark versus a 60-ton whale. This wasn't just a hunt, it was a war. For millions of years, the Miocene oceans were a battlefield of giants that makes the void in Subnautica look peaceful. As we move toward the modern era, you might ask, where did they all go? Why is our ocean so quiet now? You think we are safe because we are the masters of the planet? You're wrong. We are currently living in what paleontologists call a Leviathan void. For the first time in 500 million years, there is no 20-meter apex predator with a 10-ton bite force patrolling our waters. We are living in a temporary intermission. The extinction of the Megalodon and Leviathan was caused by a shift in global temperatures and the migration of their prey. The monsters didn't lose their strength. The environment simply changed the rules of the game. But the ocean is a patient mother. She has spent eons creating monsters, and she is not done yet. Every time we see a new trailer for Subnautica 2, our hearts race because we have a genetic memory of these things. We carry the fear of the Mosasaurus and the Dunkleosteus in our very DNA. Our ancestors survived by hiding in the shallows while the gods fought in the deep. You think humanity is the pinnacle of life on Earth? Think again. We have only been here for a blink of a geological eye. The Megalodon ruled for 13 million years. Basilosaurus for 6 million. Humanity's industrial civilization has barely lasted 250 years. We are guests in a house built by Leviathans. The next time you're playing Subnautica 2 and you hear that distant low-frequency roar echoing through the sea caves, don't just think of it as a game mechanic. Think of it as a ghost of the Dacosaurus, with its axe-shaped head, a ghost of the Pliosaurus, with its 15-meter frame and 3-meter jaws, a ghost of the sea chi, with its serpentine body. The monsters of the deep are not gone. They are merely waiting for the climate to shift, for the oxygen to rise, or for the next cycle of gigantism to begin. We are the spectators of a 500-million-year-old experiment, and we just happened to show up during the quietest part of the show. So, dive deep into the game. But when you look back at the real ocean, remember the teeth that once bit through armor, the throats that swallowed have cursed us, and the shadows that once owned the world. Because in the deep, no one is a master. Everyone is just a visitor, and the real Leviathans are always, always watching from the dark. You think you're the apex predator? You're wrong. You're just the luckiest survivor in history. The ocean hasn't changed, it's just holding its breath. And one day, the intermission will end. When that day comes, the real Leviathans won't be on your computer screen. They'll be under your boat, and there won't be a save game button to press.